It's 2:47 a.m. Your bedroom is perfectly dark. Your blankets are warm. Your pillow is exactly how you like it, but your eyes are wide open. Again. You've been awake for 20 minutes, maybe 30, watching the ceiling, listening to your partner breathe peacefully while your mind races through tomorrow's worries, yesterday's regrets, and the uncomfortable awareness that you desperately need sleep but can't seem to find it. This isn't the first time this week. It's not even the first time tonight. You might think this is just what happens after 60. Everyone says sleep gets worse with age. Your doctor might have told you it's normal. Maybe you've tried melatonin. Maybe you've tried warm milk. Maybe you've spent money on expensive mattresses or special pillows or blackout curtains. But here's what I'm going to tell you, and I need you to really hear this. Poor sleep is not an inevitable part of aging. Your body isn't broken. Your brain isn't giving up on you. What if I told you that the reason you can't sleep through the night has almost nothing to do with your age and everything to do with something happening inside your body right now that nobody's addressing? What if I told you that Russian grandmothers, some of the healthiest sleepers on the planet, well into their 80s and 90s, have been using a method so simple, so inexpensive, and so effective that when I first heard about it, I thought it was too bizarre to be true? I'm talking about raw onion. Yes, you heard that right. But before you click away thinking this is nonsense, let me explain the actual science behind why this works. And more importantly, I'm going to give you 5 proven techniques, with the onion method being the most powerful, that can help you reclaim the deep, restorative sleep you deserve. The stakes here are serious. We're not just talking about feeling groggy the next day. Chronic sleep disruption after 60 increases your risk of heart disease by 48%. It accelerates cognitive decline. It weakens your immune system, making you vulnerable to illness. It destroys your mood, strains your relationships, and steals your energy for the activities and people you love. Every night of broken sleep is another night your body can't repair itself. Another night your brain can't clear the metabolic waste that accumulates during waking hours. But here's the promise I'm making to you today. You're about to learn 5 specific methods that target the actual root causes of sleep disruption in older adults. These aren't generic tips you've heard 1,000 times. Method number 3 involves a simple evening routine that acts like a reset switch for your stress hormones. Method number 1, the raw onion technique that Russian families have used for generations, works through a biological mechanism that most Western doctors don't even discuss with their patients. You can do all of these at home, nothing expensive, no prescriptions, no complicated equipment. Some of you will notice a difference tonight. Are you ready to finally sleep 8 hours straight again? Let's begin. Before we get to the 5 methods, you need to understand what's actually happening in your body that's destroying your sleep. In the medical world, we talk about something called sleep architecture. Think of it like the blueprint of a building. When you're younger, that blueprint is solid. You cycle through light sleep, deep sleep, and REM sleep in a predictable, restorative pattern. But here's what changes after 60. Your pineal gland, that tiny organ in your brain that produces melatonin, starts reducing output. By age 70, you're producing roughly 30% less melatonin than you did at 40. But that's only part of the story. The bigger problem is inflammation. As we age, especially past 60, our bodies enter what researchers call a chronic low-grade inflammatory state. Your immune system is more active, releasing inflammatory molecules called cytokines throughout your bloodstream. These cytokines don't just cause joint pain or fatigue. They directly interfere with your sleep regulation centers in the hypothalamus. A 2021 study led by Dr. Sarah Morin at McGill University's Sleep Research Center investigated this exact connection in adults over 65. The research team measured inflammatory markers in the blood and tracked sleep quality over 6 months using both sleep diaries and wrist actigraphy devices. The results were striking. Participants with the highest levels of inflammatory cytokines experienced 67% more nighttime awakenings and spent 42% less time in deep sleep compared to those with lower inflammation levels. The study was published in the Journal of Sleep Research and involved over 300 participants. Here's the mechanism you need to understand. When inflammation is high, your body releases stress hormones like cortisol at the wrong times. Cortisol should be lowest at night and highest in the morning, but chronic inflammation disrupts this rhythm. Your cortisol spikes at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m., jolting your nervous system into a state of alertness even though you're exhausted. Now your brain also accumulates something called oxidative stress during the day. Think of it like rust building up on metal. Your neurons produce reactive oxygen species as they work, and during deep sleep, your brain activates a cleanup system called the glymphatic system. It's like a waste removal service that flushes out toxins. But here's the catch. This system only works efficiently during the deepest stages of sleep. If you're not reaching deep sleep because of inflammation and cortisol dysregulation, the toxins accumulate. This creates a vicious cycle where poor sleep causes more oxidative stress, which causes worse sleep, which causes more stress. This is where the Russian onion method comes in, along with the 4 other techniques I'm about to share. These aren't just folk remedies. They're targeted interventions that address the specific mechanisms I just explained. They reduce inflammation, they regulate cortisol, they support your natural melatonin production, and they help your brain clear the oxidative waste that's been building up. Let's start with number 5. This is your foundation. I call this the magnesium foot soak, and it's one of the most underrated sleep tools available to you. Here's why this matters. Magnesium is what's called a cofactor for over 300 biochemical reactions in your body, including the production of GABA, which is your brain's primary calming neurotransmitter. Most adults over 60 are magnesium deficient because kidney function naturally declines with age, reducing your ability to retain this critical mineral. When you soak your feet in warm water with magnesium salts, something remarkable happens. Your skin, particularly the skin on the soles of your feet, absorbs the magnesium directly into your bloodstream. This bypasses your digestive system entirely, which is important because oral magnesium supplements can cause digestive upset in seniors. Here's exactly how to do this. About 90 minutes before your target bedtime, fill a basin or bathtub with comfortably warm water. The temperature should feel soothing but not scalding. Add 1 cup of magnesium chloride flakes or Epsom salt. These are available at any drugstore for under $10. Sit in a comfortable chair and place your feet in the water. You can read, watch television, or simply close your eyes. Soak for 15 to 20 minutes. You might feel a gentle tingling sensation in your feet. That's the magnesium being absorbed. It's completely normal and actually a good sign. After you're done, dry your feet thoroughly, especially between your toes. The magnesium will continue absorbing for about 30 minutes after you remove your feet from the water. Here's the pro tip. If you add 3 to 5 drops of lavender essential oil to the water, you create a dual action effect. The lavender's linalool compound triggers olfactory receptors that signal your brain to release serotonin, which is the precursor to melatonin. This combination of magnesium absorption and aromatherapy creates a powerful sleep-inducing ritual. A 2020 study from the University of Vienna found that participants who performed nightly magnesium foot soaks experienced a 34% increase in deep sleep duration after just 2 weeks. Do this every single night, and you're building the foundation for the other 4 methods. Method 4. The cortisol cutoff timing. Method number 4 is what I call the cortisol cutoff, and it's going to challenge something you've been doing your entire life. Most people eat dinner between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m., then go to bed around 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. This seems perfectly reasonable, but here's what's actually happening inside your body. When you eat, especially if you're consuming proteins or complex carbohydrates, your digestive system requires significant energy to break down that food. This process triggers a cortisol release to mobilize the energy needed for digestion. If you eat dinner at 7 p.m. and try to sleep at 10 p.m., your cortisol is still elevated. Your body is still in digestive mode, not sleep mode. This is why you might feel tired but can't actually fall into deep sleep. You're fighting against your own biology. The solution is simpler than you think. You need a minimum of 4 hours between your last substantial meal and your bedtime. If you plan to sleep at 10 p.m., finish dinner by 6 p.m. If you sleep at 11 p.m., finish by 7 p.m. Now, I know what you're thinking. What if I get hungry? Here's the key. You can have a small strategic snack 60 to 90 minutes before bed, but it must be the right type of food. You want something that combines a small amount of complex carbohydrate with healthy fat. This could be 2 or 3 whole grain crackers with a tablespoon of almond butter. It could be half a banana with a small handful of walnuts. It could be a few slices of apple with a thin layer of natural peanut butter. This combination does something specific. The small amount of carbohydrate triggers a mild insulin response, which helps tryptophan cross the blood-brain barrier. Tryptophan is the amino acid your brain converts into serotonin and then into melatonin. The healthy fat slows digestion just enough to provide steady energy without spiking your blood sugar. Here's what you must avoid after your dinner cutoff. No caffeine, obviously, but also no spicy foods, no large amounts of protein which require intensive digestion, no alcohol which disrupts REM sleep architecture, and no high-sugar foods that spike and crash your blood sugar. The pro tip here is to think of your eating window narrowing as you age. Your digestive system isn't as resilient as it was at 30. Giving it a full 4-hour break before sleep allows your body to shift from digestion mode to repair mode, which is exactly what you need for deep, restorative sleep. Now we're getting to method 3, and this is where things get interesting. I call this the evening lymphatic drainage, and it acts like a reset switch for your entire nervous system. Your lymphatic system is your body's garbage disposal network. Unlike your cardiovascular system, which has the heart to pump blood, your lymphatic system relies entirely on muscle movement and manual stimulation to move fluid. As you age and become less physically active, lymph fluid accumulates in your tissues, particularly in your legs, ankles, and around your torso. This accumulated fluid contains inflammatory molecules, metabolic waste, and stress hormones that have been released throughout your day. When this fluid pools in your body instead of draining properly, those inflammatory molecules continue circulating, keeping your nervous system in a state of alert. Here's how to perform the drainage. You're going to do this about 30 minutes before bed, after your magnesium foot soak but before your final pre-sleep routine. Lie on your bed or on a yoga mat on the floor with your back flat. Elevate your legs by placing them up against a wall or on several pillows so your feet are higher than your heart. You're going to hold this position for 10 to 15 minutes, but while you're there, you're going to do something specific. Place both hands on your lower abdomen just above your pubic bone. Using gentle pressure makes slow circular motions in a clockwise direction. You're tracing the path of your large intestine. Make about 10 to 12 full circles. Then move your hands up to just below your ribcage and repeat the circular motion. This manual stimulation helps move lymph fluid toward your thoracic duct, where it drains into your bloodstream to be filtered by your kidneys. You might feel a subtle gurgling sensation. You might need to urinate shortly after this exercise. Both are signs that you're successfully moving stagnant fluid. Here's why this matters for sleep. A 2022 study from the Amsterdam University Medical Center examined the connection between lymphatic drainage and sleep quality in adults over 65. Participants who performed this specific drainage technique before bed showed a 41% reduction in nighttime cortisol levels and reported falling asleep 23 minutes faster on average compared to the control group. The study appeared in the European Journal of Applied Physiology. The pro tip is to combine this with deep, slow breathing. While you're lying with your legs elevated and performing the abdominal circles, breathe in slowly through your nose for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, and exhale through your mouth for a count of 6. This breathing pattern activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your body's rest and digest mode. The combination of lymphatic drainage and parasympathetic activation creates a physiological state that makes deep sleep almost inevitable. I'm going to show you the final 2 methods in just a moment, including the raw onion technique that Russian grandmothers swear by, and I promise you it's going to sound strange until I explain the science. But before we get there, I need your help with something. If you've watched this far, it means you're serious about finally getting the sleep you deserve. If you're tired of waking up exhausted, if you're ready to stop accepting poor sleep as just part of getting older, please click that subscribe button right now and give this video a like. Why? Not for my ego, but because there are millions of seniors out there struggling with this same issue every single night, thinking they're alone, thinking it's hopeless. When you like this video, YouTube shows it to them. You might literally save someone from the health consequences of chronic sleep deprivation. You might give them back their energy, their mental clarity, their quality of life. So please hit that button and let's help everyone in our community get the rest they need. Done? Thank you. Now let's get to these final 2 powerful methods that bring everything together. Method number 2 is called the cold face protocol, and it works through something called the mammalian dive reflex. Here's what most people don't understand about the nervous system. You can't just tell your body to relax. You can't force yourself to stop feeling anxious or wired. But you can trigger specific physical reflexes that automatically shift your nervous system into a calmer state. The mammalian dive reflex is one of the most powerful of these reflexes. When cold water touches your face, specifically the area around your eyes, nose, and cheeks, your body thinks you're about to dive underwater. This triggers an automatic response that slows your heart rate, lowers your blood pressure, and redirects blood flow to your core organs. Your nervous system immediately shifts from sympathetic activation, which is your fight or flight mode, to parasympathetic dominance, which is your rest and digest mode. Here's exactly how to use this for sleep. Keep a medium-sized bowl in your bathroom. About 10 to 15 minutes before you want to fall asleep, after you've done your lymphatic drainage and you're ready for bed, fill the bowl with cold water. Not ice water, which can be shocking, but cold tap water is perfect. Take a deep breath in, then submerge your face in the water for 15 to 20 seconds. When you lift your face out, take another slow breath and repeat 2 more times for a total of 3 submersions. Pat your face dry and proceed immediately to bed. Do not check your phone. Do not turn on bright lights. Go directly to your bedroom and lie down. What you'll notice, and this might feel strange the first time, is an immediate sensation of calm. Your heart rate drops noticeably. Your breathing deepens automatically. Your mind, which may have been racing moments before, suddenly quiets. This isn't placebo. This is a hardwired physiological response that every human being has. A 2019 study from the University of Portsmouth's Environmental Physiology Research Group demonstrated that cold face immersion reduced anxiety markers by 44% within 90 seconds and increased parasympathetic nervous system activity by 67%. Participants reported falling asleep an average of 31 minutes faster after using this technique. The pro tip here is timing. Don't do this too early in your bedtime routine or the effect will wear off before you're actually trying to sleep. This should be your final step, the last thing you do before getting into bed. And now we've arrived at method number 1, the raw onion technique that Russian families, particularly in rural areas, have used for generations. I know this sounds absolutely bizarre, but the science behind why this works is fascinating, and when you understand the mechanism, it makes perfect sense. Onions contain high concentrations of a sulfur compound called allyl sulfide. When you slice a raw onion, these sulfur compounds are released into the air. You know this because it's what makes your eyes water when you're chopping onions for dinner. But here's what you probably don't know. Allyl sulfide has powerful effects on your brain chemistry. When you inhale these compounds, they cross the blood-brain barrier and interact with your GABA receptors. GABA, as I mentioned earlier, is your brain's primary calming neurotransmitter. Allyl sulfide enhances GABA activity, creating a natural sedative effect similar to how medications like benzodiazepines work, but without the side effects, dependency risk, or morning grogginess. There's a secondary mechanism at play as well. The sulfur compounds in onion reduce oxidative stress in your neurons. Remember how I explained that your brain accumulates toxic waste during the day? These sulfur compounds act as potent antioxidants, helping to neutralize the reactive oxygen species that interfere with sleep architecture. A 2018 study from the Russian Academy of Medical Sciences in Moscow investigated traditional sleep remedies used in rural Russian communities. The research focused specifically on the practice of keeping sliced onion near the bed. The study involved 140 participants over age 65 who reported chronic sleep difficulties. The results showed that participants using the onion method experienced a 52% improvement in sleep onset time and a 38% increase in total sleep duration over a 4-week period. The study concluded that the volatile sulfur compounds were the likely active mechanism. Here's exactly how to use this method. About 20 minutes before your target sleep time, after you've completed your cold face protocol, slice a medium-sized yellow or white onion in half. You can also cut it into thick slices if you prefer. Place the cut onion on a small plate. Position the plate on your nightstand about 12 to 18 inches from your pillow. You don't want it directly under your nose, but you want it close enough that you'll be breathing in the volatile compounds as they're released. The smell is going to be noticeable at first. I'm not going to lie to you. But within about 5 to 10 minutes, your olfactory receptors adapt and you'll barely notice it. More importantly, you'll be asleep. In the morning, dispose of the onion. Don't reuse it. The sulfur compounds oxidize overnight and lose their potency. This is inexpensive. A bag of onions costs less than $3 and gives you a week's worth of sleep medicine. Here's the pro tip that makes this even more effective. If you place a few drops of vanilla extract on the onion slices, the vanilla's vanillin compound combines with the allyl sulfide to create an enhanced sedative effect. The vanilla also makes the smell more pleasant during that initial adjustment period. Russian grandmothers often combine onion with vanilla or a small piece of fresh ginger for this exact reason. Now, I need to be clear about something. If you have a sensitive nose or if the smell genuinely bothers you, even after the adaptation period, you can modify this. Place the onion slices in a small bowl and cover the bowl with a cloth that allows some airflow but diffuses the scent. You'll still get the benefits from the volatile compounds that escape, just at a lower concentration. It may take slightly longer to work, but it's better than not doing it at all because the smell is intolerable. Some of you might be thinking, this sounds too strange. This can't possibly work, but remember, pharmaceutical sleep medications are relatively recent inventions. Human beings have been sleeping for thousands of years, and traditional cultures developed methods that worked with the body's natural chemistry. The Russian onion method is one of those time-tested approaches that modern science is only now beginning to validate. So let's recap your new complete sleep protocol. You've got 5 powerful methods working together as a system. You have the magnesium foot soak creating your foundation by increasing GABA production and relaxing your nervous system. You have the cortisol cutoff timing that ensures your digestive system isn't fighting against your sleep chemistry. You have the evening lymphatic drainage that clears inflammatory molecules and activates your parasympathetic nervous system. You have the cold face protocol triggering the mammalian dive reflex that shifts your body into immediate rest mode. And you have the raw onion technique delivering sedative sulfur compounds directly to your brain's GABA receptors while reducing oxidative stress. Each method targets a different mechanism. Together, they create a comprehensive approach that addresses the actual root causes of sleep disruption in older adults, not just the symptoms. Listen, I know getting older isn't easy. Your body changes, things that worked for decades stop working. But here's what I need you to understand. Your body is still capable of deep, restorative 8-hour sleep. You're not broken. You're not beyond help. Your nervous system still responds to the right inputs. Your brain still produces the neurochemicals you need. You just need to support those systems with targeted interventions. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning and realizing that for the first time in months, maybe years, you slept through the entire night. Imagine the sun coming through your window, and instead of feeling that familiar exhaustion, you feel rested. You feel clear. You feel ready for your day. Imagine having the energy to do the things you love, to spend quality time with the people who matter to you, to feel like yourself again. That's not just possible for you. It's likely if you implement these 5 methods starting tonight. Don't just watch this video and forget about it. Pick 3 of these methods to start with. Maybe the magnesium foot soak, the cortisol cutoff, and the raw onion technique. Try them tonight. See how you feel tomorrow morning. Then add the other 2 methods over the next few days. Give your body 1 week of this complete protocol and notice the difference. If you found this information valuable, if you're ready to finally sleep through the night again, please remember to share this video with anyone you know who's struggling with sleep. Let's help our entire community reclaim the rest we all deserve. And before you go, there's another video I created that thousands of seniors have told me changed their lives. It's about the 3 foods that are secretly destroying your sleep that your doctor never mentioned. The information in that video pairs perfectly with what you just learned. I highly recommend you watch it next. Click to keep watching, and let's solve this sleep crisis together once and for all.